before we move any further, I want to deal with the fact that I'm not crazy about these buttons. Look at this. We have to read them. Some kind of animal. This will not do. I want icons, dang it. Enter Font Awesome. FontAwesome.io. So Font Awesome is an icon font. Why a font? Well, fonts are vectors as opposed to bitmaps, which means they don't define pixel by pixel what the image looks like. They use math to define the shape, which means, look at this. Look how big these are, and they're still not fuzzy. And that's how all the fonts look. They look good at any size. It's very easy to use. You can download it. You can install it using a package manager, or naturally, you can get it from a CDN as well. And here are all the icons. There are a ton. So many great icons. Let's see what it says on the start page here. Font Awesome CDN, easiest way, but they do want our email address to get that, which seems like a little bit of a pain in the neck. We've used CDN.js in the past, I believe. So let's look for, instead of foundation, let's look for good old Font Awesome. Here we are. Font Awesome. .min.css 4.7.0. That just might do the trick. Let's copy that. Let's add a link to it in our HTML. I will put it before foundation and certainly before app.css. So let's add a link, rel style sheet href, and the CDN link that we just found. And then what? How do we use this thing? Look at the list of icons and it'll tell you. You have to put a couple of classes on an element to use an icon, and typically we use the I element because it's semantically meaningless. It meant italics at one time when Mosaic added it, but these days we use emphasis for that, and I doesn't really mean anything, so it's pretty common to use it for an icon. So let's find one of these buttons like fave, and instead of the word fave in there, let's put a little I element. And we're going to have to put a couple of classes in there. Let's see, what would be good? A star would be good for fave. Let's just search for star. We have several. Zoom in a little bit. We have star, we have star O. I don't know whether you like an outline or not. If we just use this one, click on that, and it tells us FA star, and that's really all you need to know once you're used to how to use Font Awesome. But in the example down here, you'll see you add two classes. One called FA, which tells it to use the Font Awesome font for this element, among a few other things. And then FA star tells it which specific icon to use. ARIA hidden here is, again, for assistive technology, and is not a bad idea. If you click on web accessibility here, you'll see a few other tips for how to make these a little more accessible, because icon fonts are not always the best, because you do need something to appear if they can't see the icon, right? And since they're just using random Unicode characters, it's not going to tell them that it's a fave unless you go to a little more trouble. So you can click there to read more about that. For now, we'll just keep this kind of simple. Put a class of FA and a class of FA star. Don't need to put anything inside it for right now. And let's see if it works. Yay, there's the star. That's all there is to it. So for up, we'll again replace the word with an icon. We'll do the same with down. We'll do the same with delete. So, okay, let's search for up. Upload, arrow up seems legit to me. So we'll put an I in here with a class of FA and a class of arrow-up. And I'm going to bet there's also an arrow down. I.fa.arrow down. What do we want for the remove button? Trash can seems good. Alright, we have a few. Oh, look, it even knows that these are things that people are often looking for when they look for trash. Trash and trash O. I think trash O actually looks better, the outline version. So let's go I.fa.trash. FA. Yeah, I messed those others up. All right, FA dash, the name of the icon. FA arrow down. An arrow up. FA trash O. They put that prefix on there so it's not going to clash with any classes that you may have already defined. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, we got our star, up, down, trash. Beautiful. And very, very easy. So that very quickly is Font Awesome. Let's have a closer look at just how it works. Let's inspect one of these and look at the rules that are applying. Okay, the FA class, you see, does several things, one of which is assign the Font Awesome font. And then you don't see the FA star applying to this. It's actually using a little something else. A before pseudo element. We learned about pseudo classes like hover, and I think the other one we used was nth of type. Before is a pseudo element, and basically, if you define a rule with this colon before, or colon before also works, then it'll actually act as though there is an element immediately before this that you can apply a style to. And in this case, what it does is it effectively creates a pseudo element right before this I, and it sets the content. So it actually inserts a character in there. And this is a Unicode character code. And that is the character code for the star icon in this particular font, in Font Awesome. So if you look at one of these, you'll see up here it tells you which Unicode character that icon appears at. So that's how it works. But we don't even need to know that necessarily, because it just happens. It's so easy. And that's Font Awesome.